Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Marconi Stallions, the Palace, for the 2026 Men's National Premier League Round 22 fixtures. Your mighty Marconi Stallions take on St George FC. The Football New South Wales Men's National Premier League competition is proudly sponsored by Minor, the official match ball of the NSW NPL. Attendees are reminded they are bound by the Football Australia Spectator Code of Behaviour, together with the terms of admission of this venue. Any breaches may result in disciplinary action and sanctions. Visit Club Marconi and experience the Piazza, your go-to destination for food and great company. The Piazza's state-of-the-art kitchen offers wood-fired pizzas straight from authentic Italian ovens, delicious pasta dishes and more. Perfect for a while after this afternoon's game or your next outing. Whether it's a quick meal or a relaxed family outing, there's something for everyone. We're open 7 days a week untied for dine-in and takeaway. The starting lineup for the away side this afternoon, St George FC is as follows. Number 2, Rocco Smith. Number 4, Jaden Sito. Number 6, Patrick O'Shea. Number 9, Nicholas Scutteridge. Number 10, Jaden Casella. Number 11, Lachlan Sepping. Number 14, Isaac Cunningham. Number 16, Hayden Wright. Number 20, Kota Toyuka. Number 40, the goalkeeper, veteran Ian Heritage. Number 88, Christopher McStay. On the bench for this afternoon's clash for St George FC, number 7, Justin Boone. Number 12, Toshiki Makamoto. Number 13, Sebastian Laluz. Number 17, Sebastian Kissing. Number 21, Harry Keys. Number 24, Edmund Haddad. Number 25, Harrison Barrow. And now, the starting lineup for your Marconi Stallions here at the Palace for this afternoon's clash against St George FC. Starting at number 1, the goalkeeper, Joe Wade. Number 2, Tyrone Bernie. Number 3, the skipper for this afternoon's clash, Cameron Wingas. Number 5, George Daniel. Number 6, Sam Qual. Number 7, Franco Meyer. Number 8, give him a warm welcome when he walks down to the pitch, James Bayless. Number 9, Damien Dennis. Number 11, Mate Busek. Number 14, Jack Armson. And number 23, Quinton Blair. And on the bench this afternoon's match here at the Palace against St George FC, number 12, Julian Monge. Number 16, Luca Pecora. Number 17, Sunday Yoga. Number 19, Ahmad El Halou. And number 40, Aaron Hayes.
and gentlemen, welcome to the Palace. It's round 22 action between the Marconi Stallions, the league-leading Marconi Stallions, and St. George FC. Two teams at opposite ends of the competition ladder. The Marconi Stallions with the opportunity to extend their lead at the top of the table to 4 points. After Abiolaka slipped up last night against the Sutherland Sharks, a 3-2 defeat, opening the door for a Marconi win to take them 4 points clear at the top of the table. For St. George, well, defeat here and points for Blackdown City in their clash against Sydney United. 58 could see St. George slip into the playoff spot, which is a dreaded position. It means they need to take on the team that finishes second in the Football League One competition. That spot currently occupied by the Northern Tigers. And we saw how dangerous the Northern Tigers can be. Last year, the Tigers making an Australia Cup run and the final of the Waratah Cup. There's not much change in that squad either. Of course, Bankstown City Lions have also made a plethora of high-profile signings in the window as well, knocking on that door for second place. The playoff spot will be a very difficult task for whoever is to finish in 15th position. St. George will do all they can to avoid that. We'll go through their team lineup first. Some key changes to the squad as well. Vedran Janjetovic comes into the starting lineup in goals in place of Nick Soros, who is unavailable today. Rocco Smith, Jaden Sito, Pat O'Shea, new signing Nikola Škatarić starts up top. Jalen Casella, Lachlan Sepping gets his first start in St. George colours. Isaac Cunningham, Caden Wright, Kota Toyuka and Chris McStay are your St. George FC starting 11. No Mark Rodic, no Evan Suris already this season. Troy Danaskas has missed a whole heap, but we won't be seeing him back for the rest of the campaign, as well as Nick Kalanjeru, who suffered an injury midweek at training, and that poor run of injuries continues for St. George. It's been a couple seasons now. They really can't catch a break. And when you're in the position they're in at the moment, it doesn't make things any easier. For the Marconi Stallions, Joel Wade has kept 4 straight clean sheets. Could be looking to make that 5 today. In between the sticks for Marconi, Tyrone Burney, Cameron Windus, George Daniel. Teng Kuol returns to the starting lineup. We'll get to a bit more information about that, but fantastic for Marconi to see him back in the sky blue colours. Franco Maya returned for James Bayliss as well after spending time in the UFC Pro League. Rejoins and straight into the starting team for Peter Tsekenis. Damien Tsekenis will play up top. Mate Busek, Jack Harmson and Quinton Blair. Marconi starting 11. Jack Harmson will be playing in a slightly more advanced role to what he's been used to this campaign, sitting also as a 6 in the midfield next to Quinton Blair, or an 8. He's sliding up a little higher, and that is because there is no Marko Jeršić this afternoon. Marconi captain unavailable, being rested by Peter Tsekenis. Big games to come in the coming weeks for Marconi, in particular in 2 weeks' time when Sydney United comes to town here at the Palace. Oh, Anton Mlinaric either suspended after last week's red card. And no Noah Anderson either, a young star suffering from a hamstring injury. Here's Chris McStay trying to get to the ball ahead of Teng Kuol. Kuol's long legs get him there ahead of the veteran St. George midfielder. Quite a cool afternoon here in Bosley Park, in particular when the wind blows. It looks as though the wind took Škatarić's shot well off target there. New number 9 coming to his back to his former club. Spent the last 2 seasons with St. George. This year made the move at the start of the season to the Blackdown City. Wasn't quite enjoying life at his new home. The opportunity to return to St. George, a team that's really needed some firepower. He'll be looking to add that to their arsenal and try and help them stave off that relegation battle. Doesn't get much tougher than a task at the Palace. The ball played through. George Daniel needs to deal with it. Škatarić on his back. It was a couple of seasons ago that Škatarić lining up for St. George suffered that horrible knee injury that kept him out for over a year. He's there touching the ball off to Chris McStay. So much potential Škatarić has. We saw that season that he did get injured. He was one of St. George's most dangerous players. Disaster struck here at the Palace. Good to see him back though. Hopefully he can find himself back in amongst the goals. Here's McStay. Back for Rocco Smith, who's returned to his normal position. Played as a number 9 for a few weeks. Even found himself on the score sheet as well. Did a job when required. In the front third for St. George, but now returns back to his normal position. He'll be hoping to keep a clean sheet for St. George. Something that St. George has not kept for quite a while. They incredibly started the season without a conceded goal inside the first 6 games. Since then, they have not kept a clean sheet, believe it or not. Incredible statistic, an incredible turn of events for the club as well. Chance for Tsekenis goes down, no penalty, waved away by Michael Weiner, today's match official. Pat O'Shea and Rocco Smith in close attention to Tsekenis. No penalty, says the experienced man in the middle. Bernie there for fouling Jaden Sito. Soros out. Had an impressive game here for Sydney United last year with Vedran Janjetovic. Looking to repeat that feat here this afternoon. Zach Cunningham, another new arrival there, the number 14. A fantastic start to 2026 with the Rydalmere Lions. Was sought after by a number of clubs, not just in the top tier, also in League One. Interstate interest as well, as we led to believe. Shows St. George as the place to continue his development, but an exciting player. Well, that's no stranger to finding the back of the net, and watch for him to cut in and let fly. Made a number of signings, St. George in the window. Nikola Škaterić and Isaac Cunningham, as we spoke about. Lachlan Sepping as well, arriving from Hills United. Getting his first start this afternoon. Sebastian Kicek, who arrives from Bankstown City on the bench. Edmund Haddad, former Western Sydney Wanderers prospect. As Bernie gets ahead of Cito. Ball forward now into the feet of Armson. Across goal, it took a deflection on its way over. Marconi still in the attack to Kennis. Crosses it back in toward the far post. Bernie for Armson. The flag's raised. Not sure who was offside there. I don't think it was Bernie. Armson was offside when the cross was first delivered into the box, but Bernie wasn't, and pretty certain that ball went backward from Tyrone Bernie. Had Jack Armson found the back of the net, the big question marks raised, no doubt. Marconi bench would have been up. Unhappy. St. George now on the attack, looking to create something of their own through Jaden Casella. Could be a corner here for St. George, and it will be. First corner of the afternoon. Interestingly, 4 games have kicked off, all at 3 p.m. today. As I mentioned earlier, Blacktown host Sydney United, Rockdale, and North West Sydney Spirit. Wollongong Wolves and St. George FA, and St. George FA already ahead there down the south coast. Corners delivered, the in-swing is good, headed away by Windust. Falls to right, who can hit them, but pulls his shot just wide of the target. Four games already played this round. NSW defeated Sydney FC by 3-2. A red-hot Sydney FC. Western Sydney Wanderers beat Sydney Olympic 2-1 yesterday. Manly secured a massive win. Vladimir Knezovic's side now starting to get away from danger zone. And Sutherland pulling off a impressive 3-2 win over Apia Leichhardt. Sutherland starting to close the gap now. In fact, increase the gap with the chasing pack in terms of finals football, and picking up form at the right time. There is some end to the month for Sutherland as they take on Rockdale in a few weeks' time. All eyes will be on that fixture. Massive implications, not just for finals football, but also potentially could be the game that secures one of those two a ticket into the Australian Championship. You know how eager both sides are to put their names on the national map. What better way than through the Australian Championship? As Cunningham looks to run at the Marconi defence, but well recovered by George Daniel. Dusek back for Bayliss. Franco Maya. A bit of a lull in his form start to mid-season point of this campaign, but has absolutely shown all his quality in the last couple months. Been outstanding for Peter Tekenis' side. One of their best players, no doubt. Great pirouette there, but closed down by Cunningham. Marconi get the ball back after a poor clearance. Bernie looking for the run of Maya, but overhit that slightly. And Jetovic will take that, slow things down, start all over again. These two, some of not just New South Wales, but Australia's oldest and most famous names. Powerhouses back in the NSL days of Marconi and St. George Budapest, as they were known back then. Header one by Quoll. Works its way out to Casella. Overlapping is Sepping. Crosses in towards Kataric. Windhurst tried to hand the ball to a teammate, but almost put Bernie in some trouble. Used his body well, did Bernie, to earn the free kick for his side. Minutes before kick-off, the sun was not in the way of the camera, nor in my eyes, but clouds have moved. It is quite windy here, as we mentioned earlier. The sun out in full force now. Maya heads on. Caden Wright picks up the loose ball. Quinton Blair and Maya trying to combine. Maya taken out late there. No whistle, and comes a little delayed. Marconi get the free kick. Maya has stayed down for the moment. Free kick. Drops in the box. Shouts a handball from both teams. No whistle came. Ten Quoll somehow wrapped his legs around. I think it was Caden Wright to win the ball, but Marconi couldn't regain possession. Marconi colours. A long ball there that Rocco Smith had to, in the end, head back to Janjetovic. Busek hot on his heels. Ball was set to make an international transfer. Everything was set and about to be completed, but failed in the last moment. He'll have to hold off that dream of playing abroad just for a little longer. One team's loss is another team's gain, and the Marconi Stallions will be very, very pleased that he's back in their colours to help them complete the season, perhaps even help them in the championship as well. There from McStay. Cole plays it forward. Tekenis battling O'Shea, who gets the touch to the ball first, stepping back to Cito. Smith. Tough pass for Cito to get to from Rocco Smith. Ball goes out for a throw for the home side. An important thing here for Marconi, without Marko Jeršić, not just missing his quality but his leadership. Communicates so much on the park. Keeping to high standards for the Marconi Stallions. He's an extended arm of Peter Tsakenis on the pitch. Taking his time with the throw. And just sends it forward. McStain just a little too strong for Busek and plays the ball all the way back to his goalkeeper. Time now for St. George to set themselves up and try and break down this stubborn Marconi defence. Maybe this is a way a bit more direct this time. One to chase for Cunningham. Unable to keep it in though. Pacey winger Isaac Cunningham. Unable to get there on that occasion though. Busek switches play toward Maya. Gets a touch on that, Franco Maya. Rocco Smith had to react. Does Janjetovic and slices that one out for a throw. Hear some drums in the background, some eager St. George fans, young St. George fans I should say, trying to make some noise in support of their team. Škatanić can't turn away from Windust, coughs up possession. Now George Daniel plays the ball forward for Busek. Back to Quinton Blair. Much like the likes of Dylan Rose and Eddie Caspers at Sydney United and Apia, Quinton Blair has also had a very quiet, successful season at Marconi. Anchor role in the middle of the pitch. Again, pass back and it's questionable. St. George managed to react though. Cunningham gets there ahead of Qual, trying to use his pace now and strength to get beyond Qual. No whistle. Still Isaac Cunningham, but Qual thwarts him at the cost of the corner. St. George get another opportunity from a set piece, their second corner of the afternoon. First delivery wasn't bad, but there weren't any runners to create Marconi some problems. Casella to deliver the corner. Can he find a teammate in red? Good ball in again. Joel Wade tried to punch, didn't get the best contact on that. Franco Maya clears high. Brought down expertly by Caden Wright, futsal player with a fantastic touch. Here's McStay. Ball hasn't gone out. Chris McStay crosses in towards Skataric, but Bernie got in the way. It'll be another corner for St. George. A bit of pressure now from the visitors. How will Marconi deal with this? John Wade was a little unconvincing with his last attempt to punch the ball out. We'll need to do better here. Cross comes in toward the near post. Skataric was there. Bayless clears, avoids a corner. Last touch was off him. That's why he chased after that ball. Wasn't taking any chances. Bernie now does well with Chris McStay looking to win something there. Not pleased with the call. He was expecting the whistle to go for a free kick. It never came though. It'll be tough for anyone to break this defence down. As I said, Marconi 4 games without a goal conceded. They're the best goal difference in the league as well. Excelling at both ends of the park. They may have almost, out of nothing, St. George almost finding the lead there. John Wade picking the ball up at the right moment on the edge of his area as Busek, who's been a bit quiet in the opening exchanges, is fouled. Running at Tuyuka there. Busek sets the ball up. Tenqual has gone forward. So has Windust. Cross comes in from Busek. What a beautiful delivery. Causes problems in the box. There was a handball. Bayless swept it in, but there was a handball on Tenqual before the goal was put away. That delivery from Busek. Superb. Now losing possession in midfield. Armson couldn't get the ball out of his feet to find the right pass in space for Tsekenis, and McStay has run into and gets Quinton Blair unnecessarily there. Bundled him over. Had a look as well over his shoulder. I think that's what sold the foul. The fact that McStay had a look where Blair was before going through him. Either side able to test the opposition keeper yet. We're past the halfway point of the first half. As our American friends would say during the World Cup. 25 minutes out from the intermission. Yep, they call a half-time break an intermission. Here's George Daniel. Closed down well by Cunningham. Armson back to Daniel. Won by Caden Wright. Skataric unable to really find the ball yet. Armson driving forward, cleared away by Rocco Smith. John Wade sitting quite high outside of his box. So plays the ball short to Qual. deep, and Škatarić not really getting the support required to be able to combine with anyone at the moment. We've seen stronger and burlier strikers than Nikola Škatarić be able to deal with the likes of Ten Quol and Cameron Windust. Ball spread out wide to George Daniel. Cross comes in, good ball into the box. It bounced awkwardly, but they dealt with it, did the away side. Not for long though, because Marconi come back at him again. This time Tuyuka, make sure he intercepts the pass toward George Daniel. Still Tuyuka. Cunningham. But no options. Marconi really not allowing St. George to put any passes together. Busek gets there ahead of Tuyuka. Rise another challenge, this time gets the free kick. Free kick is back for the original foul by Tuyuka. Michael Wiener was going to allow Busek to take the free kick from further away. Busek's last delivery was impressive. Franco Maya has come over this time with the left foot, but I think he should leave this one to Mate Busek. Busek leaves it. Wasn't a bad ball from Maya. St. George deal with it. Škatarić this time battling Quinton Blair. Again, coming off second best there. St. George number 9. Switch pass for Busek. Let's bring it down, and a bit disappointed with himself there, Mate Busek. Much higher expectations. With his first touch, was under no pressure really. Busek back to George Daniel. That's better from Marconi. Cross comes in, but blocked by Tuyuka. George Daniel again. Gets beyond Cunningham with ease. Low ball into the box. Falls here for Maya, and it fell to his left foot as well. A wild swing from Franco Maya. And the best chance of the game goes begging for the home team. Blair trips over the ball. Armson, good use of the body. Early release for Tsekenas. Too close to Janjetovic. Good challenge from Blair. To the feet, Wolves looking for the feet of Armson. Pass slightly off. Marconi stepping a little higher here in the press. St. George play out with ease and have a bit of space here. Tuyuka gives the first pass away and turns back again. Not many options going forward for St. George. Ball there finds Casella. Looking for Škatarić. Windust heads away. They can't bring it down. St. George get the ball back. McStay once more. Crosses in towards Škatarić. Once more Windust heads. McStay again. Bit of pressure now from the visitors. Haven't seen the ball too much in this part of the field. This might work out for Cunningham here, though. Can't keep it in. It's been that sort of first half so far. You need the team able to put passes together and get a clean shot on goal. The best chance falling to Maya only minutes ago. But aside from that, neither side able to create anything else. Well, crosses into the box. There again. He's right. Forward to Škatarić. Stockland stepping, releases Casella, who cuts inside. Still Jaden Casella. Bumped off the ball there. And Marconi regained the ball again. Blair. Bayless. Runs into trouble. Caden Wright comes away with it. Ball though goes out of play. Rockdale taking the lead against Spirit. St. George have doubled their lead against the Wolves. It's 2-0. Wollongong in real trouble. Really finding going tough at this point of the season. No goals between Blacktown and Sydney United. 35 minutes played there, similarly to here. Daniel clips it forward to Jack Armstrong, who's got a bit of space. Pass was on there for Bayless. Chose to go back to Teng Kuol instead. Jack Armstrong playing as a 10 for Apia Leichhardt. And even all the way back to his time at the Bonnyrigg White Eagles, was a very, very prolific player in that position. Teng Kuol, also pretty prolific as a central defender. Makes his run forward, but loose touch. So we really dive in there. Wiener judged that got too much of Caden Wright, and the foul goes the way of St. George. 10 minutes to go in this first half. Still no goals. Only one real clear-cut opportunity going the way of Marconi. Courtesy of Franco Maya. His effort well high and wide of the target. I was going to say Busek's done so well to keep that in, but just got away from him. McStay finds the feet of Caden Wright, gets it back again. Busek cuts back on the right, sees the run of Armson, well defended by O'Shea. Cunningham, oh, his touch gets him away from Cole, and that's a yellow card if I've ever seen one. It's a double yellow card. I wouldn't be surprised here. It's one of those situations. Teng Kuol fouled Cunningham once, was always going to get the yellow card for it. Cunningham got away from him. He fouled him again the second time. And I'm not, which was also a yellow card offence. Had Michael Wiener set Teng Kuol off there, I would not have been surprised at all. I have to say, I think Teng Kuol's a bit lucky there. I Oh, it would have been extremely harsh, but there were two separate fouls, both worthy of yellow cards. Nevertheless, it's a free kick in a very good opportunity for position for St. George. Casella delivers. Tess Wade, who seemed to spill the ball but regathered quickly. Marconi survived. Isaac Cunningham showing the danger he possesses. So far, the only real threat for St. George going forward. I want to find him more often if they are to break down this stubborn Marconi Stallions defence. Stay to Tuyuka. His touch isn't the greatest. Can't play in the path of Casella. Daniel sends it long. O'Shea with a measured header to Caden Wright. Casella again on the left. Gets his head up. Switch ball looking for Cunningham, who's gone to the other wing now. Seen him make damage from here in the League One competition. Usually plays down the left wing, cuts in on the right, and generally finds the bottom corner. Very Robben-esque. You know exactly what he's going to do, but you can't stop him. That's what Isaac Cunningham was doing week in, week out in the League One competition for Rydalmere. McStay. Out to Tuyuka. Caden Wright. Patient build up here from St. George. Nice pass from McStay. Tuyuka gets it out wide, crosses into the box. Tenquol deals with it. Now Marconi have a bit of space themselves with St. George committing a few extra numbers forward. Jane and Casella working hard back in support. Busek. Wrong decision from Mate Busek. Had more time and space to drive there. Perhaps find a teammate with an easier pass. Looking for Tsakenis, who got caught up. Bernie sees that one out with Cunningham not being able to get there. Last 5 minutes, still no goals here at the Palace. Qual finds the pass to George Daniel. Low cross into the box, and that'll be a corner if I'm not mistaken. That is Marconi's first of the afternoon. We know how dangerous they've been from set pieces this season. This could be another moment of those. Which probably hasn't played the minutes he would have wanted to in first team football this year either, so they really have the chance to put him under some pressure. Cross comes in toward Tenquol at the far post. The wind sort of held that up, and Quol was forced to go into a diving header, but now St. George can break through Nikola Škatarić, and look at Franco Maia working hard back and does well to make the initial challenge. Škatarić still has it, goes down again, and Maia will get a yellow card. Nikola Škatarić battling hard there, earning his team a free kick in a very dangerous position. In particular, set piece starring Chris McState. So yellows to Franco Maia. 10 qual in this first half. And perhaps a chance for St. George to go into the break ahead. With a free kick in a very good position. Maya looks to have hurt himself after making that challenge. He's had to go off and receive some treatment. Ball getting moved back a metre or so. McStay lines it up. Look at the space for Caden Wright on the edge of the area. Absolutely unmarked. McStay goes low. Wade saves. The ball falls, and it was a great chance there for Jaden Cito. The ball fell at his feet, but he couldn't just take a swing at it. Marconi survive, and they've got to deal with the corner now as Franco Maya returns inside the area to help defend this set piece. McStay will deliver. Just moving the ball ever so slightly. His starter step had begun. He had to restart it. Cross comes in. Another dangerous ball. Just a little too much on it. Avoids everyone. As the dark clouds loom. Coming in from behind us, so you can't see him yet on the camera. But they are most definitely coming in. I think we're in for a bit of a wet second half here at the Palace. Wade sends it forward. Can St. George muster another opportunity, or will Marconi do so before the halftime whistle? To find out how much time is added in the next 15 seconds, if any time's added. Qual to Windust. It'll be 1 minute of a minimum of 1 minute of additional time, I should say. Blair wide for George Daniel. Marconi's last chance of the first half. Daniel driving out to Yuka. Square pass for Bayless. Falls to Armson, has his shot blocked. Bernie now can't get the ball out. Handball by Cunningham. And a free kick for Marconi. It was unlucky for Isaac Cunningham. Didn't know too much about it. Definitely came off the hand though. James Bayless's pass, which he didn't really mean, I'd say, almost turns out into a good 1-2 with Jack Armson. Surely this is too far to be hit from here. For second, Franco Maya both stand over the ball. Who will it be? Number 7 or the number 11? And Yetovich measuring his wall. It'll be Maya. We did take it a little. Marjanovic comfortable in the end. Releases now. As that'll be the last action of the first half. No goals after the first 45 minutes. One good chance for either side. Franco Maya with the best opportunity for Marconi, scoring his effort all over the bar. Jaden Cito unable to take advantage after Chris McStay's free kick was spilt by Joel Wade. Half time at the Palace. Marconi Stallions 0, St. George 0.
Here's Ferreira's got to be careful as he takes on Wells. Now Negro looking for the run of Fowler. Fresh legs off the bench here. Fowler, and he scores! End-to-end in the blink of an eye, and Sydney FC take the lead.
Siren takes the referee's count down to 4. Abdul Rahman Awan Lawal has opened the scoring here. Split wall now. It's going to go into the middle. Manly have equalised. Essie Perez. Crossing it into the middle. Tapped home by Luke Ewenhoff. And Manly have the lead. Griffiths goes to the Rover line. Down to the box. Griffiths puts it home. And Samuel Griffiths. Through ball for Awan Lawal. Has to take it away from the box. Cross into Pavlovich. Cross. Brought down. Shot. Goal for Manly. For the Western Sydney Wanderers, sorry. As Lachlan Satoot. Pavlovich. Pass. Awan Lawal has found an equaliser for the Wanderers.
They're backing off here at the University of New South Wales, and now Perez makes the run into space beautifully. Perez. Wood is there with him. Perez is going to get there first. Tries in the cross low. Chance for a goal! Goal! Richard Shawecki with the goal. To choose from. Drives it in low. Flicks in. Hook in there! A terrific header at the near post. A great cross coming in from here. He's going to switch it for Jordi Perez. Perez shouting for the shot. Goal! Goal to Jordi Perez! Not quite on the ball in the last few weeks now. Tarek Maya. Tarek Maya from halfway. Goal!
By the millimetre. Flicking it around Mako. Goes to the back stick. Great touch and an even better finish. And there's the opener for St. George City. Buries it. Sends Jack Kenny the wrong way, and that is a brilliantly taken penalty. Slipped, but managed to get a foot away to it. And it's in! All the way from the sideline. Santarosa goes direct, and it's dribbled in! There's 2 men that are claiming it. But regardless, it's a third goal for SD Raiders.
Kobayashi. Fizzed in, chance! And it's gone over the line. It's Shoki Yoshida who got the last touch. Trying to find Yoshida, the running behind. Sliding through. And it's gone in the back of the net.
Bugaria takes it at the near post. Armanakis. He finds the shot! That is brilliant! Clear the defensive third though. Casella twists it back in. Aquien with a header again. And now through traffic. The equaliser comes for St. George. And it's Mark Roberts. Here comes the free kick. Armanakis whips it into the box. And the header is in! Bailey Callahan comes up.
He's never one to lead the protest himself. He generally lets his football do the talking, and he's done beautifully to slide past Tanaka. The ball's good, and Armson's opened the scoring. Yes, stands and clears. Falls to Armson. Daniel. That's a good ball. Sekenis must finish and does now. Took a couple of plays.
Will deliver their in-swinger once more. Great area. Griffiths gets there. And Griffiths buries it into the bottom corner. There comes in. Rockdale get the advantage though as Moody Najjar drives into the box. Najjar! Moody Najjar puts it away, and Rockdale double their lead at Lambert Park. Welcome back to the Palace. No goals after the first 45 minutes between the Marconi Stallions and St. George FC. Not many chances to report back on either. Franco Maya having a shot go over the bar after through to him around the penalty spot. Had a free kick from distance too that in the end was easily held by Vedran Janjetovic. But aside from that, quite half for the home team. St. George had one chance after a Chris McStay free kick. Spilled ball from Joel Wade. Wasn't put away by Jaden Cito. And that was about all she wrote for the first half. Hopefully, we see a few more opportunities in the second half. Look as though the coach has made changes at the break, as you were in the first half. Go through the lineups again quickly. John Wade, Tyrone Burney, Cameron Windust, George Daniel, and Ten Quol back four. James Bayless, Quinton Blair, and Jack Harmson in the middle. Mate Busek, Franco Maya the wing with Damien Tekenis at the points for the Marconi Stallions. For St. George, Vedran Janjetovic in goals. Marco Smith and Pat O'Shea in the centre of defence. Jaden Cito and Kota Toyuka, left and right backs. Caden Wright, Chris McStay, Lachlan Sepping. Midfield three. Isaac Cunningham, Jaden Casella, left and right. And Nikola Škatarić leading the line for the visitors. Goals from around the grounds. Wollongong Wolves are losing by 2-1 to St. George. Busek tries to dance through. George Daniel picks up the scraps, had a go of his own, gets the ball back, tried to feed through Jack Harmson, couldn't get past Caden Wright. And Škatarić with a great move there to get beyond Ten Quol. And still Škatarić, and Ten Quol thought about pulling him back, but on a yellow card, Ten Quol needs to be careful. Some good defending from Cameron Windust. And now, at the other end, Marconi's number 5 showing what he can do, but unable to feed the pass through there for Jack Harmson. McStay can't turn away from Blair, but battled hard enough to win the ball and dived in there, did Chris McStay. He'll get a yellow card as well. Michael Weiner going to the pocket. Here's a yellow. Too aggressive the challenge, deemed to be. First yellow card for a St. George player goes the way of Chris McStay. Ten Quol and Franco Maya in the book for the Stallions in after the first 45. Chris McStay getting St. George's first yellow early in the second period. Challenge was on Mate Busek. Back to his feet now, doesn't have to leave the field of play because McStay got the yellow card. Back to scores around the grounds. Rockdale lead Northwest Sydney Spirit 1-0. No goals at Blacktown and Sydney United still. Cross comes in from Maya toward Quol, and Janjetovic had committed himself. Quol had the whole goal gaping. All he had to do was get his header on target. Ten Quol failed. The score remains 0-0. But a good chance for the home team. They're getting caught in no man's land to collect the ball, but was way too far away from it. Sends this one forward now. McState hits it on. Bayless looks to have used his hand, but St. George have the advantage anyway. Tuyuka, Cunningham. We're interested to see Cunningham operating down this left wing. He started on the right, but we've seen him more comfortable on the left, and it'll be interesting to see how Tyrone Burney deals with him. Burney, a player that doesn't lack any pace, that's for sure. Really be able to control. Cunningham has Škatarić there. Found some space in midfield, and Chris McState just sat on his heels a little. That's better football from St. George. Cunningham now, and the heavy touch lets him down. The space really opens up for him. And he took that in his stride. Marconi would have been in trouble. Sepping loses out. Great work from Armson, and the ball's even better. This will see Tekenis through. Rocco Smith is so lucky Tekenis didn't go down there, because Rocco Smith would have no doubt seen red. There was contact with Tekenis, and we saw an earlier incident a couple of weeks ago in the 3rd minute of play when Michael Krislovic was brought down by Ethan Bevan, and SD Raiders and Sydney United did battle, and on that occasion Ethan Bevan saw red after 3 minutes. The difference was Krislovic went down, Tekenis tried to keep his feet. Back though, 5 seconds before Tekenis ran through. The work from Jack Armson. Come away with the ball to create the space and then find the pass. Exquisite from Marconi's number 14. Burney. Uncomfortable. Luca Pecora, of course, on the bench, returning to the Stallion squad. Julian Monge, Sunday Yona, new signing Ahmed El Helu, also there. Spent time at the Central Coast Mariners. Impressive young attacking player. Still down. Here's Burney saying he's feeling pain up his quad. ACL test going on now. Anthony Frikatic, Marconi physio, assessing Tyrone Burney. Marconi down to 10 for the moment. Joe Wade getting a little too comfortable in possession. Looks as though Burney might be okay. Back to his feet now. Thumbs up from the physio. Interestingly, I was about to say Pecora wasn't called to get up and warm up, but now he is. He's Blair now. Great first touch to get out. And he's got it back again here, Quinton Blair. Runs into trouble. What a chance that was for Marconi. It just looked as though Armson and Tekenis got in each other's way a little. Blair found the ball in good space, but Not used to receiving possession as Maya gets it back. Franco Maya! That is spectacular! What a goal from Franco Maya! The awareness to see the space left by Janjetovic. Phenomenal strike. Hit so cleanly. And Marconi lead. Their number 7 puts him in front in spectacular style. What a goal from Franco Maya. The awareness to know that the space was there. Struck it so cleanly. And St. George, for all the good they've done at the start of this second half, they looked a lot more comfortable toward the end of the second, toward the end of the first, the start of the second. Tyrone Burney, we heard his knee moments earlier. I don't think it affected his hand. The throw was interesting, to say the least. Coming together there of Armson and Janjetovic. I tell you, I know Jack Armson quite well. Not the type of player to purposely try and hurt you. Accidental contact with Janjetovic. Wind dust, got a little too comfortable for a moment. Here's another chance now. Marconi get a lot of confidence from that. You can really feel the momentum swing now the way of the home side. Heavy challenge there from Cunningham this time on Franco Maya. Wins the free kick. So the only game in round 22 this Sunday afternoon without any goals is at Landon Stadium. Blacktown and Sydney United 0-0 there currently. Rockdale still lead by 1-0 against NWS Spirit. St. George FA 2-1 to the good against Wollongong. If there's been one team that's let leads slip or conceded late goals this year, it is St. George FA. Dropped so many points from winning positions. Mirko Jurl will be so disappointed with how his team season has gone. They could have so many more points and be in a much safer position than they find themselves in. And they just had the composure and the discipline to stay tight at important times. St. George, this is a absolute mirror image of what their season has been this year, this game. Been good quality for large parts, disciplined for large parts, created opportunities which they didn't take advantage of, only to go behind for something as spectacular as that from Franco Maya. I'm disappointed the way they gave the ball away, but again, did not expect to concede from that sort of position. Bernie looks to have recovered from his earlier contact. George Daniel somehow finds the ball at his feet, closed down by a few red jerseys and gives away possession. St. George doesn't waste too much time in giving the ball up themselves. Here's Maya again, combining with Bernie. Cunningham closed down by George Daniel, but managed to just flick the ball out there. Good work from Cunningham, and this time Michael Weiner getting himself in the way. Chance here for St. George. Cunningham went down. Something out of nothing there. Škatarić turns away, trying to create the space to get the shot off on the left foot. Still Nikola Škatarić gets it off just over the bar. It was dipping, almost finding the top far corner. Nikola Škatarić. Ball played forward. Pat O'Shea clears it away. Strong challenge from Tekenis. Last touch off Sito. Here's Daniel. Now Bayless. Bernie, back to Quinton Blair. Marconi need to take control of the game again. We need a second goal as well. The St. George team has players that are able to hurt you in the front third. Škatarić, Casella. Isaac Cunningham. Is this the chance? And it was a good ball in. Unable to get enough power on the header there, Damien Tekenis. Strong challenge from Windust, had to get there with Škatarić lurking. Good challenge from Blair, strong challenge from Blair in the middle of the park. Now Busek. Puts on the afterburners. Still Mate Busek. Cuts the ball back for Tekenis, but not enough angle on that. Idea was right. Didn't quite get there. Daniel. Cross comes in toward Bernie. Bernie again. Back to Franco Maya. Headed clear by O'Shea. Now the ball breaks for the home team, but Kennis's pass had too much on it. Jack Harmson saw the space in behind the defence. That's where he wanted to play it, but a little too hard there. Tough one to control from Kennis as well. Forward, brought down by Rocco Smith. Wright plays it away from danger. Bernie comfortably takes and gets away from a couple. Now Maya looking for the switch. Finds Busek. Busek's had a bit of fun with Toyuka in the last couple of attacks. He has again, but this time Toyuka throws in a leg at the right moment, just as Mate Busek was preparing to let fly. Maya not happy with the call. Spirit have equalised at Illingdon Sports Centre, as has Wollongong. And he's 2-2 there now. Strong tackle from Qual. This is gone. Michael Wiener not happy with something, and Joel Wade is down, requesting attention. Now this could be an interesting scenario. Actually think Joel Wade's evening could be done here. That'll be a massive hit. There's still 20 minutes to go. Plus stoppages. Haig is the reserve keeper on the bench for Stallions. Wade's back to his feet now. Couple changes now incoming for St. George. Chris McStay coming off and Lachlan Sepping. Actually a triple change. Edmund Haddad comes on. Could be Tohiki Makimoto that's come on, it is. Exciting Japanese import. Here he is, first touch. Couldn't get away from Bernie. Bernie again. Here's Kennis. Close down. Still battling away. Gets away from two and still to Kenneth, but ran out of legs in the end. The advantage was given. That's why there was no whistle. Franco Meyer and Sir Kenneth both saying that there was no advantage there.
And number 12 to Shiki Makamoto replaces number 88, Christopher McStay.
Pass intercepted. Some strong challenges in the middle of the park now from both teams. Cross into Thompson. Jack Thompson doubles the lead. Found by James Bayless. And as I said, when that man plays in the 10 role, that man scores. So confident in front of goal. Cool, calm and collected Armson. Slots it beyond Janjetovic. And the Stallions are on their way to another 3 points. And are on their way to extending their lead at the top of the table to 4 now, ahead of Apia Leichhardt. Well taken by Armson. St. George now have a lot of work to do from here on in. Still 20 minutes to play. It looks as though this one may be done.
St. George FC making their replacement. Number 21, Harry Keys replaces number 11, Lachlan Sepping.
Lachlan Sepping was replaced by Harry Keys. Just at the moment where St. George makes some attacking changes. They get punished. Can they get one back here? Škataric's shot is saved by Wade. George Daniel clears out for a corner. Lovely turn from Škataric, who's come alive in this second half. He struggled in the first, was well defended, but has popped up a couple times now and shown exactly what he'll bring to the St. George team. Almost clawing his team back into the game. Corner comes in. Beats the first player at the near post, but not the second. As Marconi clear their lines now. Toyuka under pressure from Tsekenis, forced all the way back to Janjetovic. Calmly passes out to Caden Wright. Marconi continue with the press. Cunningham can't turn away from Maya and Bernie. Bernie can't find the pass to Armson either. And now Maki Moto switches play. A lovely ball out wide. And here's Keys. Gets into the area. He's blocked by Tenquol. Good response here from St. George after conceding that second goal. They've recovered well. Created a couple quick opportunities. Put Marconi back under pressure. Got another corner now. Cross comes in. Wade spills the ball. Škataric is blocked. Forced to Makimoto. Chance is there. Shot blocked off the line. George Daniel keeps that out from Sito. Excellent defending. And now Marconi can break. Or can they? Good transition defence from St. George. Here's Caden right now. Switching play, and Škataric keeps it in. Just back to Sito, who must have thought he scored moments earlier. Struck that so cleanly, but George Daniel had other ideas on the line. Getting the block in. Škataric drives forward. Back out to Caden Wright. Skips one. Back now to Edmund Haddad. Caden Wright again. Period of pressure now from St. George. They had this in the first half too. Didn't capitalise on their chances They haven't done so far. Makimoto. Smart pass from Cunningham, but the run didn't come from his teammates. Armson closes down Sito. Škatarić in the mood now. Bernie holding him off. Back to Wade. Here's the ball forward. That'd feel uncomfortable. After receiving attention not too long ago, the Marconi custodian. Maya only hits it into the path of Cunningham. Strong tackle from Tyrone Burney, and he wins the throw as well. Unable to find the pass there to Cunningham. Maya. Out wide to Burney. Tyrone Burney now running at Sito. Back out to Bayless. Bayless looking for the space. Has a go, but can't wrap his foot around the ball enough. Goes well wide of the target. As Marconi look to make a change of their own. It's Franco Maya coming off. Sunday Yona will inject some pace now, coming in against his former club as well. Sunday Yona, the previous season at St. George, in the colours of the Marconi Stallions. Smith into Caden Wright. Makimoto. Goals keep coming. Down the south coast, Wollongong took a 3-2 lead, completely turned things around. This time St. George have pegged them back. It's 3-3 now. What a game there. Still no goals between Blackdown and Sydney United. 0-0. 1-1 between Rockdale and NWS Spirit. And of course, 2-0 here for the Marconi Stallions. Franco Maya and Jack Armstrong, the scorers. Great work from Blair. Still Quinton Blair. Finds the pass. How's this for some beautiful football? Sekena still battling away, but won't get his shot away. Instead, gives the foul away. That was neat. Blair to find Armstrong and then dropping the ball off for Tekenis. Haddad feeding in Cunningham. Dealt with by George Daniel, but he's given it straight back to Škatarić, who saw the space similarly to Franco Maya, but Joel Wade was quickly back across to keep that out. Jetovic comes and claims the ball. Looks as though St. George will be making another double change. Sorry, the last one was a triple change, a double change now. Bayless. Again, Marconi really combining nicely. Blair somehow keeps the ball away from Harry Keys. Here comes that double change now. Isaac Cunningham comes off. Justin Poon comes in. Kota Toyuka comes off, and Sebastian Kicek comes on for his debut in St. George colours. Kicek, who won the under-20s title with the Marconi Stallions last year, arrives at St. George from the Bankstown City Lions. Young, talented central defender. Sunday Yona. Touch fails him there on that occasion. Searching for Tekenis. Kicek gets his first touch to head away. Wade sends the ball forward. Kicek heads away again. Brought down by Caden Wright. Now Poon. Justin Poon, who was one of St. George's best players last season, hasn't really hit the ground running in 2026. Now need him to find some form from last year to stay away from that dreaded playoff position. And even worse so, stay away from 16th. Sydney Olympic have strengthened well in the window, fighting for their lives. Foul there on George Daniel. Happy with the treatment. It is an extremely cool evening here at Marconi Stadium. It says it's 13 degrees. I tell you what, it feels much, much cooler than that. The wind as well, not helping the situation. Oh, what about that? From Busek, ball in towards Sekenis. Put it away. Yona. Still Sunday Yona, cuts across goal. Headed clear by Pat O'Shea. St. George need to defend this corner now. Cross comes in again. Important touch there by Rocco Smith. It'll be another corner. Cito. And now maybe a bit of space for St. George to break in, but Sunday Yona shows his pace to get back and close down Maki Moto, who gets it back again. Smart pass centrally for Rocco Smith. Škatarić crosses towards Smith, who's on up top again it seems. Caden Wright. Ball to Škatarić, gets it on the left, and Škatarić lifts it just over the bar. Marconi Stallions making another change. James Bayless will come off. An impressive return for Bayless after spending time in the OFC Pro League. Won the league with Auckland. Now returning to Marconi Stadium in the Marconi Stallions, replaced by Ahmed El-Halou, who debuts himself in the sky blue. Prospect with the Mariners, left in the window to join Marconi. Another attacking threat that the Stallions now have at their disposal, adding a little bit of depth, something that perhaps Kennis didn't have available to him, like the likes of Apia. So a very welcome addition to the Palace. Much better second half, not just from Marconi, but also for you at home. The first without many opportunities. The second, at least, has brought 2 goals to your TV screens as Busek prepares to deliver this corner. Cross comes in, outswinger toward Qual. Smith clears. One to chase for Škatarić. George Daniel back to Wade. Clears first time. Yona. Caden Wright got there first. And now Maki Moto, who's been very involved since coming off the bench. Looking for Škatarić, and taken out off the ball was Maki Moto by George Daniel, as he looked to combine with Nikola Škatarić. St. George has a free kick. They deserved a goal. The away side put in a solid shift. No reward for them just yet, and with the game ticking away, it'll at least be a confidence booster for them moving forward into the coming weeks. Škatarić clips it in. Headed away by who else? Tenqual. Makimoto now. Pulled back again. This time no whistle. El Halou has Yona available. Releases him, but Yona just straight offside. El Halou could have played that ball a little earlier. With the pace that Sunday Yona has, could have released his winger much sooner. And that would have been lights out for St. George. I'll come again though, the visitors. Škatarić. O'Shea into the feet of Škatarić, who lets it roll. Again, Tenqual, another important challenge. And now Yona sees acres of space to run into. Sunday Yona, one-on-one with Sito. Finds El Halou, not quite. St. George really opening up. They're throwing everything at Marconi now. They'll be left exposed at the back. And with Yona, Marconi has the pace to do some serious damage. Soon find out how much time is to be added. Yona gets it down, gets it back. Bernie turns away from a few. Plays out George Daniel. Now Busek. Qual. Still Tenqual. Still Tenqual. Finally stopped in his tracks. Harry Keys getting back and making the challenge. Just gets forward so easily, Tenqual. Škatarić back defending now as well. Daniel back to Armson, all the way back to Tenqual. Windust. Marconi just keeping the ball, eating at the clock, and I feel as though Yona sort of pulled back rather than going for that ball immediately. Thought he wasn't going to get there. I think he would have. O'Shea sends it forward. Smith as well to get that touch out to Haddad, but as it is the case, light blue jerseys everywhere. Smith feeds him Makimoto, and Joel Wade quickly off his line, springs out and dives at the feet of Makimoto, but one thing's for certain, Makimoto and even Škatarić have shown they'll be very dangerous and useful weapons for St. George. Isaac Cunningham too. Playing a bit of keepsy. Quinton Blair and Tyrone Burney. Ball sent forward toward El Halou. He'll have a debut goal. He's Sunday Yona. Yona runs into the area. Too much there from him. O'Shea. Running as far as Quinton Blair. Armson to George Daniel. Now to Kenneth. Prodding is at Marconi. Defended well though by St. George. Have a look to get out. Rocco Smith released, but unable to keep it in. He had 3 minutes of time added on. Final whistle not too far away now. And the Stallions edge closer and closer to another 3 points. They go one round closer to securing the premiership. And that is the full-time whistle here at the Palace. The Marconi Stallions extend their lead at the top of the table to 4 points. They defeat St. George FC 2-0. A strong performance from Marconi. In the end, a deserved 3 points, a deserved 2-0 win. They opened the scoring with a special strike from Franco Maya before Jack Armstrong doubled the advantage. Both goals coming in the second half. St. George showed they won't be pushovers though. They put up a good battle, had chances of their own, put the Stallions under pressure at certain times throughout the game, but not enough to come away with anything from the Palace. 8 games to go in this one. 8 games for St. George to find survival. 8 games for Marconi to secure another premiership. Full time here at Marconi Stadium. So Marconi Stallions 2, St. George FC 0.